Welcome back to the Technical Setup series. In the next lesson, we'll focus on authentication, forwarding, and email account settings. If you used Woodpecker domain and email account feature, it was done for you. Nevertheless, it's good to understand how these things work. Woodpecker has a built-in SPF, DKIM, and domain checker. It will show you if your settings are correct for each mailbox and updates daily or on demand. You can find these when you go to your company name, on the top right corner, then Settings, then go to Accounts, pick an email account and click on the cogwheel on the right. Lastly, go to the domain checkup and you should see the screen. It shows you if SPF is correct, if DKIM is set up. Lastly, it shows you how old is your domain. Young domains are generally seen as suspicious. We'll cover that a bit later. So let's look into authentication and start with SPF. By the way, if you are here just to set it up ASAP, you can go to the help article under this lesson. SPF stands for Sender Policy Framework. It is an authentication method for your domain. By setting up SPF, you define who can send using your domain. This can be a service or a specific IP. The reason why this setting is so important is that it can help you to spot impersonation. This means if someone tries to send emails in your name and is not authorized, SPF will fail. Now you will be aware of a problem and can act upon it. With that being said, in cold email space, impersonation is not that common. Typically, you have a dedicated network of domains just for cold emailing. Additionally, you scale now by having many domains, so the risk is quite low. Nevertheless, having this setting in place is seen as beneficial by the email service providers. You show that you care about your domain's safety, and that's why we set it up. As mentioned, the SPF record is an authentication method for your domain. This means you set this up in your DNS panel of your domain. You do not need to set it up for each mailbox. Let's look at typical SPF record if you use Google email accounts. The important part here is the include part. You're telling the receiving end that you allow Google to send emails using your domain. Now imagine you use service like newsletter software. They often provide their own infrastructure for sending. Our example SPF does not have them listed currently. This means it will fail when you try to send emails via newsletter service. In the end, the receiving end will determine what to do with the email if SPF fails. But there are some options you can set to signal what you wish for. You can set so-called soft or hard fail. In the example above, we used soft failed, so ~all. This means if SPF fails, it tells the receiving end that the service sending in your name is probably not allowed to do. A hard failing, signified by -all, signals that the sending service is definitely not allowed to send. Now again, the receiving end will determine how to handle the situation. However, a hard fail will have lower chances of being delivered. To keep things short, you want to stick with ~all. You can add more control to what happens with your email using DMARC. No worries, I'll cover that later. Let's quickly cover a few more important aspects about SPF. As we covered, you defined a list of multiple IPs and services to send in your name. Woodpecker uses your mailbox's email service provider infrastructure to send. It only pings your email account at the right time for the right prospects. Thus, you don't need to add Woodpecker to your SPF setting. Keep in mind though that you need to add email service provider of your mailbox. Now, when defining your services and IPs that send in your name, there are rules. Make sure you never exceed more than 10 so-called lookups. If you do, your SPF will always fail, leading to lower deliverability. There are countless tools out there that can check your SPF. As I mentioned before, Woodpecker has its own built-in system. A free external tool that I can generally recommend is EasyDMARC. It will show you the lookup count and exactly who is set to send in your name. Lastly, if you need step-by-step instructions, you can always go to our help. I am linking the guide just under this lesson. You will find more examples there and how to set up SPF for common providers such as Google, Microsoft, Zoho, and so forth. The next lesson is about the second most important authentication method, the DKIM. So see you there.